Morning, Uganda. Well, for Arsenal fans, it's rather different. A match for the Gunners, and unfortunately, their Arsenal was not used enough to defeat Man City during their match at home. And clearly, as much as I'm an Arsenal fan, I do not know how Robert feels right now. But regardless, we move. Good morning. Welcome to yet another week. It's a brand new week, and it's a Monday, 23rd of March 2026. A sign that March is also rolling its carpet out of the way. But on a rather sad note, or rather sad notes, the weekend had a lot of accidents take place. For example, there was a hit and run where an Indian businessman hit Abugwere High School staff and was killed immediately. It was a hit and run incident. There was another accident of a trailer that detached and killed a mother and child in Ruwero. There was another accident, 7 killed in separate weekend crashes in Tungamo. All of these accidents registered in just a span of the weekend that we are just from. In fact, 1 dead, several injured, taxi rams into stationary sugarcane truck. This was yesterday. Lots of accidents over the weekend. Sad indeed, and it's dire. It's dire. Now, little wonder the different measures taking place right now on the roads, where there's a lot of police enforcement on the roads. Indeed, it's necessary because we need to reach that step as Ugandans where the number of accidents is reduced more and more each year. But welcome to the show. It's Good Morning Uganda. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. Robert, how are you feeling?
Good morning, Judy.
It's not that deep. You're not paid by Arsenal.
Yes.
And I know the chances for us to get that trophy are slim, but regardless, we move. It's about time you wore a smile.
Yesterday's match spoke so much into my mind regarding reality of my team and the remaining trophies we are looking at.
Right.
Let me tell you, Ruben will analyze this better. But one thing I can tell you, in the second half, I noticed something. And I can say that if not serious sense by our coach, because we had better players, that could come in. You can't pick a keeper. No, Teta must. I don't even know what to say. Because he had the Arsenal to use.
Yeah.
But his choice wasn't the very best, in my opinion.
Right.
I'm not a sports analyst, but in my opinion, one right from the goalkeeper, who would have used somebody else? You have a better.
But even
look at the
players that were amateurs, you know, they were amateur players.
Yes, but for me, I'll speak for my team.
So I don't
I'll
think
not
that should be
talk
the
about
reason.
what my neighbor did, what my opponent did. But I just feel the choice of players wasn't that very good. But also in the second half, I didn't understand what even happened to my team. Because it seemed like things had gone out of play.
Right.
And yeah, that spoiled my evening because I was very excited. I had planned how I'm going to celebrate that. Now I remain to wait for the remaining, above all, top and most wanted. To me is Premier. We hope and see, but this match, if we continue that way, unless otherwise we may not make it.
We welcome you to the show. It's Robert and I today with you. And Robert, what are you looking at quickly? And then we go into the local scene.
Well, I was reading research conducted by Dr. Aisha Nachiwala, a senior lecturer at Makerere University, regarding immigrant workers, where she talked about information gaps and also the need to have information that is accurate, usable, and instructive for the domestic workers to keep them safe and secure, but also for them to benefit from their hard-earned money. You know, most of these girls, the domestic workers, of which Butambala district is leading, because the research shows that in Butambala, at least 3 girls per month leave Uganda to go and work as domestic workers in the Middle East. Now, many of these girls don't benefit from their monies. When they get there, some get into WhatsApp groups. In these WhatsApp groups, they have allegedly boyfriends left in Uganda, or even in there, so they begin conning them, taking them of their monies. Then some send home to relatives who just eat and waste anyhow. So she comes back and it has nothing. Some adopt a life they cannot you know, they cannot manage. That's why when they come back here after 2 years, immediately they want to go back. You know, immediately she steps in Uganda, after a week or two, she notices that life is not easy. Then she goes back. Now, those sometimes have learned from their mistakes, others still don't learn. So she says there's so much information need to be given to these girls and to ensure that many go through safe spaces.
All right. Now, on that same lane, let's take a look at what you have for us this morning.
Well, let me begin with the Poverty Alleviation Department of State House, which donated cassava cuttings and coffee seedlings to farmers in Ajumani district. The Northern Region Coordinator, Stella Yamanguso, told UBC that the initiative boosts food production and promotes household income. State House Poverty Alleviation Department distributed cassava cuttings and coffee seedlings to selected farmers in Ajumani with the objective of strengthening food security and improving livelihoods. Northern Region Poverty Alleviation Department Coordinator Stella Ayamanguso advised farmers to focus on crops they understand well and those that grow fast to ensure quick returns and food stability. Leaders said the intervention comes at a time when the region is receiving rains to enable farmers plant. The recipient farmers said the initiative saves money they would invest in buying cuttings and seedlings. Authorities insist on proper crop selection and effective use of rain season for farmers to achieve food security. The media has been challenged to take a lead role in addressing climate change as Uganda joins global efforts to respond to the crisis. The media has been challenged to take a leading role in addressing climate change. This was during a climate governance panel discussion in Kampala. Experts said media must provide accurate and factual information to support climate action. Participants questioned the effectiveness of global systems in achieving net zero emissions by 2050. Developed countries have also been urged to fulfill the commitment to the Loss and Damage Fund. The experts warned that misinformation continues to undermine climate awareness. Education stakeholders in Busoga have raised concern over low parental involvement in schools in Uganda district. The inspector of schools said many parents are leaving responsibilities to government. The remarks were made during a donation at Magogo Primary School. Busoga Education Initiative has lobbied for support to Magogo Primary School in Nawongabi Sub-County, Iganga District. Chinese charities working in Uganda, including the Human Africa Alliance, donated scholastic materials and food items to improve the welfare of students who fail to access basic educational necessities. Despite this, schools continue to face challenges and shortages in terms of performance. Leaders are now calling for more support. The inspector said parental responsibility and involvement remains critical to improve the quality of education. Teachers were also awarded and urged to appreciate their commitment to teaching. And finally, from the local scene, the country coordinator of African Center for Lightning Education Network in Uganda, Barnabas Kantambira, highlighted efforts to improve lightning safety in schools. He said the current situation of lightning strikes in Uganda, noting that schools remain among the most vulnerable places during the rainy season. The growing number of lightning incidents reported in schools across Uganda this term has sparked concern among education stakeholders. Learners face risks when it rains heavily. Africa Center for Lightning Education Network in Uganda shows that this school term alone, several incidents of lightning have been reported with cases of learners injured during the thunderstorms, raising fresh concerns among parents and education stakeholders. But there is a misconception among the public, most associated with witchcraft, where such beliefs hinder efforts to promote safety measures. Alcanet has installed lightning arresters in selected schools to reduce incidents of death, injury, and property damage caused by lightning. The managing director, ACLEN, Professor Mary Ann Cooper, called for collaboration with government to equip schools with standard lightning protection systems. Now that brings us to the end of our local stories. Judy will be taking us through the international stories, and we'll see what is there for us this morning.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Robert. And with the international scene, we're starting off with, of course, matters Israel, US, and Iran. Military and political authorities in Iran are projecting a message that victory is near as war with the United States and Israel continues to escalate, and airstrikes and assassination attempts are reported across the country. Massive joint US-Israeli air raids were recorded in multiple areas of the capital, Tehran, overnight into Sunday, and in central Iran's Isfahan city in the morning, a day after Dezvul and Andimeshk in western Khuzestan and several other cities were hit. Israeli warplanes also conducted 2 separate sets of precision strikes on privately owned residential units located in small towns in the green provinces of Gilan and Mazandaran to the north on Saturday, which appeared to be an assassination attempt on officials. Local authorities confirmed that several people were killed but did not elaborate. Israeli and US media said a senior drone commander is believed to have been killed. Nevertheless, top officials in Tehran said they were unyielding and focused on retaliatory attacks. Now, the Socialist Party's Emmanuel Gregoire has won the Paris mayoral race as the results of nationwide municipal elections showed gains for the traditional left and right, and a major win for the right in the city of Nice. Sunday's runoff votes in more than 1,500 communes saw Gregoire on course to become mayor of the French capital, with exit polls showing that the far-right National Rally, RN, fell short of taking control of key southern cities of Marseille and Toulon. Gregoire, who headed a list uniting the traditional left, the Greens, and the Communists, clinched the prize mayoral with an estimated 51 to 53% of the vote, according to pollsters, seeing off conservative rival Rahida Dati, who conceded defeat. The 48-year-old son of a teacher and civil servant is stepping into the spotlight after previously serving as deputy to outgoing mayor and fellow socialist Anne Hidalgo. During his bid, he had promised that Paris would stand as a city of refuge and a bastion against the right and the far right. Now on to the continent. Sudan's army has denied it carried out a deadly attack on a major hospital on Friday night in a city in the west of the country held by its rivals, the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF. The head of the World Health Organization said 64 people, including 13 children, 2 nurses, and a doctor had died in the strike on El Dayan Teaching Hospital, and 89 others had been wounded. Enough blood has been spilled, Tedros Adhanom posted on X, urging the warring parties to end the conflict, which started nearly 3 years ago. The RSF said an army drone had hit the hospital in El Dayan, the capital of East Darfur state, on the day Muslims were marking the festival of Eid. Sudan was plunged into a civil war in April 2023 when a vicious struggle for power broke out between the military and the RSF, who had once been allies after coming to power in a coup in 2021. More than 150,000 people have since died in the conflict, and about 12 million have fled their homes, nearly a third of the country's population, in what the United Nations has called the world's largest humanitarian crisis. That brings us to the end of what we have on the global scene. A quick look at what the dailies have this morning, starting with what Robert is looking at. Must be the New Vision or the Daily Monitor. Robert.
Let me begin with the New Vision, but there's a very interesting story here in the Daily Monitor. Well, the New Vision on the front page, Naivasha, Malaba, standard gauge railway, a game changer. Then we have transforming UPDF, the CDF second anniversary supplement inside. And still the New Vision brings you so much regarding the standard gauge railway linking Mombasa to Kampala. Well, you can get more information and know where is the standard gauge railway going to pass and at what stage is it right now. I see President William Ruto and Yoweri Kaguta Museveni there. And security personnel arrested over murder and robbery. Who were those? Well, the Vision brings you that. First Lady donates 100 million for school laboratory. And Minister Mayanja responds to petition over blocked Mukono access road. Well, the Vision has quite a number of stories there for you this morning, but of course you must pick interest if you're a Ugandan or anybody staying in Uganda when it comes to standard gauge railway. Now, moving on to the Daily Monitor this morning, tax proposals to hit hard. Which proposals are these? Plan seeks to increase stamp duty on land transfers from 1.5% to 3%. Now, when you buy land and you want to transfer the title to your name, introduce stamp duty on motor vehicle and motorcycles at registration and transfer. You're buying a car, you're buying, of course, this will hike in the price as well.
Yeah,
then increase excise duty on diesel and petrol by 200 per litre. Already how much is government getting in terms of taxes per litre? Approximately something maybe like 900. Now still SGR a ball now in Museveni's court, and a picture there of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, and the President of Kenya. Congratulations. That is when it comes to the UPDF fraternity. And the lizard here, Julie's friend. Tax proposals to hit hard. The lizard comes after all elections are over. Well, we've not had our LC1, our LC2 and elections yet. So lizard, they are not yet over. Now coming to the story that is both of human interest, but the bad thing, it includes death. It included death. Now, 2 men lynched over suspected cannibalism. 2 men suspected of engaging in cannibalism were lynched by an angry mob in Chankwanzi district after residents reportedly found human body parts of a female sex worker in their home. The 2 suspects, believed to be Rwandan nationals, were beaten to death by residents on Thursday at Chiriandongo village in Bananyamwa sub-county after they were accused of killing a woman only identified as Venice and allegedly cooking parts of her body. Listen to that. According to police, these the saucepan they were already going to cook part of. But I grew up knowing that in Ntwentwe, Chankwanzi there's a place called Ntwentwe. I think I pronounced it very well. I remember one time I had a business deal there. They told me, please, if you're to pick the maize you want for your cattle, do it during the day and hurry. Once it clocks 6, 7, you won't be safe.
Anyways, they say in Uganda. Anyways, quick look at what the Citizen has. Why Africa imports fuel despite vast oil reserves. That's the headline in the Citizen in Tanzania. And also construction sector on track to hit 40 trillion shillings by 2030 amid concerns about affordability. And still, Tanzania races to deliver life-saving weather alerts to rural last mile, and revealed what Bagamoyo students are grappling with. And in the East African Railway to a great promise, that is the SGR. And behind the Rwanda UK 134 million case, also Paul's date row puts Somalia on the edge. Hilary Okello, Ugandan doctor, dispensing laughter, the best medicine on there. Now, a quick look at what we have in the Gazette this morning. The Gazette there as of the 19th day of March 2026, table of contents, but the notices to pay heed to. Be it known that on the 10th day of January 2022, Nabukalu Ziria, an advocate of the High Court, has been appointed to be a commissioner for oaths under the above-mentioned act for so long as she continues to practice as such advocate. And the commission is not revoked, given under the hand of the Chief Justice then, Alfonso Chigamoy Owinyi-Dolo, as of the 10th day of January 2022. And also be it known that on the 10th day of September 2022, Iuka Joab, an advocate of the High Court, has been appointed to be a commissioner for oaths under the above-mentioned act for so long as he continues to practice as such advocate, and the commission is not revoked, given under the hand of the Chief Justice then, Alfonso Chigamoy Owinyi-Dolo, as of the 10th day of September 2025. And also be it known that on the 2nd day of August 2016, Nagadia Susan Chibuka, an advocate of the High Court, has been appointed to be a commissioner for oaths under the above-mentioned act for so long as she continues to practice as such advocate, and the commission is not revoked, given under the hand of Ayebare Thaddeus Tumwebaze, the Chief Registrar, as of the 6th day of January 2026. That brings us to the end of what we have in the stories opening up the show. Let's have a short break with some music from Elevation Worship. When we get back, it's another conversation. Save the numbers 0709 602592 for text or WhatsApp to be part of the conversations. Good morning.
Life. Monies, then some send home to relatives who just eat and waste anyhow. So she comes back and it has nothing. Some adopt a life they cannot, they cannot manage. That's why when they come back here after 2 years, immediately they want to go back. Immediately she steps in Uganda. After a week or two, she notices that life is not easy. Then she goes back. Now, those sometimes have learned from their mistakes, others still don't learn. So she says there's so much information need to be given to these girls and to ensure that many go through safe spaces.
All right. Now, on that same lane, let's take a look at what you have for us this morning.
Well, let me begin with the Poverty Alleviation Department of State House, which donated cassava cuttings and coffee seedlings to farmers in Adjumani district. The Northern Region Coordinator, Stella Yamanguso, told UBC that the initiative boosts food production and promotes household income. State House Poverty Alleviation Department distributed cassava cuttings and coffee seedlings to selected farmers in Adjumani with the objective of strengthening food security and improving livelihoods. Northern Region Poverty Alleviation Department Coordinator Stella Ayamanguso advised farmers to focus on crops they understand well and those that grow fast to ensure quick returns and food stability. Leaders said the intervention comes at a time when the region is receiving rains to enable farmers plant. The recipient farmers said the initiative saves money they would invest in buying cuttings and seedlings. Authorities insist on proper crop selection and effective use of rain season for farmers to achieve food security. The media has been challenged to take a lead role in addressing climate change as Uganda joins global efforts to respond to the crisis. The media has been challenged to take a leading role in addressing climate change. This was during a climate governance panel discussion in Kampala. Experts said media must provide accurate and factual information to support climate action. Participants questioned the effectiveness of global systems in achieving net zero emissions by 2050. Developed countries have also been urged to fulfill the commitment to the Loss and Damage Fund. The experts warned that misinformation continues to undermine climate awareness. Education stakeholders in Busoga have raised concern over low parental involvement in schools in Uganda district. The inspector of schools said many parents are leaving responsibilities to government. The remarks were made during a donation at Magogo Primary School. Busoga Education Initiative has lobbied for support to Magogo Primary School in Nawongabi Sub-County, Iganga District. Chinese charities working in Uganda, including the Human Africa Alliance, donated scholastic materials and food items to improve the welfare of students who fail to access basic educational necessities. Despite this, schools continue to face challenges and shortages in terms of performance. Leaders are now calling for more support. The inspector said parental responsibility and involvement remains critical to improve the quality of education. Teachers were also awarded and urged to appreciate their commitment.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks, Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation, when people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
Now you can get direct answers.
Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning to you. Welcome to the show in case you're just joining us. And if you started the show with us, thank you so much. But even to you who's just joining, thank you so much for choosing UBC TV this morning. It's time for the real on Good Morning Uganda on UBC TV. My name is Julie F. Nataba with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. And this morning, let's look at matters garbage collection. Now, 320 town councils choke on garbage as a report from the Auditor General. And as our red flag is being risen, over 300 town councils across the country are struggling to manage garbage due to a severe shortage of collection equipment and the absence of designated dumping sites. Now, according to the latest report by the Auditor General, Edward Akol, at least 320 town councils lack adequate garbage collection equipment, such as garbage trucks, skip loaders and tractors, leaving local authorities unable to effectively collect and dispose of solid waste. Now, to look at some of the statistics we do have, especially for Kampala, given that it's one of those areas that are quite obvious when it comes to garbage. Kampala produces an estimated 2,500 tons of garbage daily. And what is collected daily is 1,200 to 1,500 tons. And of course, this collection has improved from 2016, where it was at a rate of 35%. And right now, it increased to a 59% to a 65% per day. That is as per a report in 2023-2024. The monthly collections on there are 28,000 tons collected, and collection efficiency ranges from 59% to 69%. Now, while collection has definitely increased, over 35% of the waste primarily is in informal settlements remains uncollected, leading to dumping in drainage channels. Little wonder we see what's happening with the flooding situation whenever it rains here in Kampala, one of the causes as is. And on that note, we do have an opinion poll question for you to engage and be part of the conversation. Which sustainable solutions can be adopted to effectively tackle the growing problem of urban waste? In your opinion, do share what you think. The hashtag on X, UBCGMU at UBCTV Uganda. Pardon me, via our X handle, but you can also send in your contribution via WhatsApp 0709 602 592. Robert, what do you make of the statistics first and foremost?
First, the not good statistics.
All right.
They speak so much to service delivery. If you can only collect 65 of the garbage gathered, then those are not very good statistics, because, you know, garbage has a lot of challenges it creates.
Right.
And one of them is disease outbreak. Apart from inconveniencing you, no one wants to stay with garbage. Julia, are you aware that even when someone finishes drinking water, this bottled water, immediately you want to discard off that can?
Right.
But you see, water has no scent. It's not smelling. The can is not inconveniencing you, but it is garbage and you want it to go away from you.
Yeah.
Now what happens to one who has eaten bananas, one who has eaten eggs? No one wants garbage. So it inconveniences, but also it is a basis for so many diseases. No wonder we are told that 90% of diseases affecting Ugandans are diseases resulting from poor hygiene and preventable diseases. When you go to the slums, when you go to Muntu wa bulijjo residents, you'll find that there is poor hygiene. And sometimes you wonder the grace of the Lord that is so unlimited and we can't understand it in our human nature, where you find that these children are living and they are not dead despite being in such situations. I remember when I visited Chitezi,
Yes.
I saw the playing grounds for these children, those that were so close to the landfill. And you would wonder, these children, how have they been able to eat from here? They don't fall sick. To play in this situation, they don't fall sick. And yet some children, even just being there 4 hours, they will have acquired infections, you go to treatment, and if the Lord doesn't help, even you can lose that child.
Right.
Now, garbage being a source of diseases, the inconvenience it causes, the urban centers, as mandated by the Local Government Act, should perform the noble cause of removing this garbage from the people, much as the people also have a responsibility in one way or the other. But the reason of removing that garbage in urban centers is a responsibility of the local governments.
Right, therein, and of course, I'm glad you even mentioned Chitezi, it being a memory to us. Why do you think garbage is a persistent problem? Even when we see that there are trucks available doing this garbage collection, maybe there are solutions here and there by the different political or policy spaces, but what do you think it's still a problem?
First, I'll begin with poor planning.
Okay.
We have developments in this country that are not planned at all, that happen, then we later want to do what I would call a surgical operation. Today I was driving through Namasuba, Chikajo,
Right.
you know, that road that connects you to Busabala. Actually, that was yesterday. And I found makeshifts being dismantled, broken, people inconvenienced, and then a truck, I believe it belonged to KCCA. Then some had letter X. You know? But the question was, when these developments were happening, where were you? Now, unplanned development. Here we don't have that this is a residential area. This is a business area. Such a structure cannot be constructed here. Today it is a residential for someone. The next day it is a bar. The other day it is called it a lodging, a guest house, a motel, whatever. The other day it is a nursery school. Then the other day you wake up, you're like, but I don't suppose. Again, some Sudanese renting the whole house. It's a standalone house. So this unplanned development makes it hard for us to effectively collect garbage.
Right.
For example, there are places that even the trucks can hardly get there. Planned, unplanned development. 2, lack of enough equipment. Let me tell you, even when you talk about having trucks, do these urban cities have enough equipment? Because not only the trucks, but also other things that are needed, enough human resource. 3, poor planning of garbage collection methods. Because, I'll speak for Kampala. Long time ago, or once upon a time, there used to be designated or gazetted areas where people would deposit their garbage. And Kampala, what was it called? Kampala City Council, KCC by then, would have trucks at this one collection center.
Right.
Come and pick. So Julie, you would have your garbage, drive it to this place, dump it there. There's someone who would manage. They even had some truck that was permanently there. You dump in there. Now, anyone who had garbage knew that at least I would dump it here. Even we had young boys in the community. Remember, I had some guy called Fasha in my area who had a cart
Yeah.
or a wheelbarrow, to put it, and some were using bicycles. He would come and pick garbage at an affordable cost because you would bargain. And he knew where to put this garbage because usually they were not very far. Now, what did KCCA do away from Kampala City Council? They said no. Now, what we are going to do, let's tender garbage collection. Let's do what?
Tender.
Tender garbage collection. That a jury will come and pay to be given that tender of collecting garbage. Now, jury must ensure he recovers the money he has invested. You know, there are some services, I believe, that they should not be commercialized. You know? Now, what these companies do, they ban anyone from collecting garbage except them. These are fashers, these boys that used to have wheelbarrows, bicycles. Should these companies find them, they arrest them and hand them over to police because they have the tender of collecting garbage. Now, what these companies do, they go and exploit the ordinary person. Julie, how would you tell a person, these boys come and they look at garbage and say, here you give us 50. Using their eyes, there's no standard measure.
Yeah.
There is no standard cost. If they have it, it is on the paper of the contract. But Julie, you and our viewer can be witness to me.
From your submission, 2 points arise for me, and I'd like for you to speak into this. From starting with that, in your perspective, do you think that garbage collection should be fully handled by the government or should remain in private companies?
No, you see, any private investor, I aim at maximization of profit.
Yep.
That's why you find they will have staff, they're not paying very well, they're not on contract. Anytime they can discard off the young man, go anyhow, because I come to make business. When I go and I buy my trucks, I bring them into the country, I pay tax on these trucks. I have workers, I must pay them. I'm not church. I'm not doing a service. Since Abazara, have come to make money. Sometimes I've gotten loans. I have to pay the interest to the loans and pay back the loans. So I've come to make money. Now remember, not all people have in Kampala. Julie, I can be spending a month 30,000 on garbage.
Yeah.
Or 50,000 on garbage. Depending, because these boys will look at a sack and they are weed, whatever and you don't want to be with this garbage. But there's someone in Kampala here sleeping in a house of 70,000. When we speak these things, some people don't understand them because they have never lived this life. Neither do they associate with people who are in this life. But there is a person who is paying 50,000 in Kampala and they accumulate garbage. There's a person. So when these companies come, their boys go off the truck and they come, Kasashiro, let you see, this is 4,000, this is that, and this person can't afford. They will leave the garbage. If they tell them monthly that every month you will give us this amount of money, and someone cannot afford, you the elite, you the corporate class, these things you can, a 30 a month for garbage is something you can do away with. But there's someone who can't afford. Guess what they do? They'll seek for an alternative.
Right. Just allow me to remind our viewer that in case you're just joining us, we're looking at the problem of garbage in town councils and cities at that. And the poll that you're participating to is which sustainable solutions can be adopted to effectively tackle the growing problem of urban waste. That is a conversation ongoing on our X handle at UBC TV Uganda. And the hashtag is UBCGMU. But you can also send a WhatsApp message 0709602555 592. Interesting comments coming through, but Robert, first drive your point.
So that will mean that this person, garbage inconveniences.
Right.
This person, because who would want to wake up at 2 a.m. when it is raining to drop a sack of garbage in a water or in a drainage channel?
Right.
They would love to enjoy their sleep. Who would want to do this? But because there is lack of affordability, but also the enforcement bit of it, I must say. Sometimes also Ugandans, we do things in a funny way that we do not think about areas where we stay. That much as there is a responsibility by government, but then someone will tell me, okay, Robert, I have my garbage, where am I going to dump it? Tell me where. Because the dumping sites were removed.
Yeah.
Now, where do I dump it? Then also, Julie, government or these urban centers, this policy of buying land to deposit these landfills, I want to say is archaic and outdated. Because at one time, these places are going to get full. So we need to go into something called recycling or making money out of garbage.
Right.
Today, we find some water channels and tunnels are not blocked by plastic bottled water bottles. If you've noticed. Why? Because there are boys hunting for them like gold.
Yeah.
You know what they call, the ones they call wakawenja? You've seen them, how they pick these, because there is money. However, they are not paid sufficient monies. But at least you see that there's someone earning a living. Now, it should be that government, we don't have piles and piles of garbage, but have a method through which this garbage is recycled, that when the trucks dump, actually this truck should be taken to a factory, not a dumping site. It should be a factory, an industry. We need investors who are going to come and make money, that when this garbage, that even when it is collected from me, there is a trade. Even if you tell me sort my garbage, that this is domestic waste, this one decomposes, this one doesn't decompose, whatever terms they use.
Right.
But when I know there is money in my garbage, Julia, I want to tell you, no one even will dump. Even if a Uganda knows that, Echikutia, I get 500. That I can add on to Chaco. I can add on this. But as long as garbage has no value in it,
Right.
we need to have factories that these trucks just drive in there. In there. It is a raw material. Then you can talk of ending. But where it is not money, where we have these tender people who are exploiting Ugandans, we shall still have the garbage menace.
Right. Thank you very much, Robert. Be part of the conversation. 0709602592. Now, we are beginning to wrap this conversation up, and allow me get into some of your comments. Hi, Julie and Robert. Thank you for the show. This is teacher Igalagwa Edward from Buyende District. Sorry for Robert to what happened yesterday on Arsenal, but we still have more 3 trophies to win. Anyways, the government should provide enough labor, including garbage trucks and people, plus the sites that are enough to handle the garbage. It should also recycle some garbage. And someone else comes through. This is Shaban Ali in Soroti City, who says, let's get tough on garbage. Implementing heavy fines for those dumping anyhow is a great start. But we also need to make sure people have access to proper waste disposal options. And here's a possible plan: increase the number of garbage collection points, impose fines of 500,000 Uganda shillings for those individuals, or 1 million for businesses that dump garbage improperly, and launch awareness campaigns to educate people about the importance of proper waste disposal, encourage community-led cleanup initiatives, and reward those who participate. Work with local authorities to ensure they're enforcing the rules and collecting garbage regularly. Shaban Ali in Soroti. I love Shaban for always coming and contributing to the show with solutions, always profound. Good morning, Uganda. Garbage collection should be a general collective responsibility. General sensitization of public and implementation of laws of waste management. Town councils, apart from collecting taxes, should also concentrate on cleanliness of the towns and cities. Edson Mohanji. Good morning, Julie and Robert. Isaac Wanzala Wazaks in West Nile. Uganda should try as much as possible to make use of garbage in urban centers what has failed them to produce biogas from it? And there's need to recycle the recyclable ones, as Robert has said. Isaac in West Nile. Good morning, Uganda. This is Odaro Vincent from Tororo. The issue of garbage should be taken seriously before government comes in. Everyone as an individual should ensure that you dump the garbage in the right place but not dropping it anyhow. Good morning, Uganda. I'm Maxon Osuna from Tororo. I think proper urban planning and zoning can be a permanent solution for urban waste. Thank you so much for being on the show and participating on the poll that's on. You can have this conversation continue on our X handle at UBC TV Uganda. But to close this off, let me close it with some of the statistics and notes from the Executive Director of the National Environment Authority, Dr. Barirega Akankwasa, who first and foremost pointed that 60% of Uganda's waste is organic and can be composited if properly sorted at source. And he also outlines key interventions that city authorities must implement to transform waste management systems. Among these, the enforcement of waste separation at household level should be a point. But he also noted on the formalization and support of waste pickers, noting that they play a very critical role but often are overlooked in the role of recycling and waste recovery. The other he pointed out is the introduction of a pay-as-you-throw system to discourage excessive waste generation, strict enforcement of the impending ban on single-use plastics, plus recovery and recycling centers to enhance reuse and reduce dumping.
That failed.
Pay-as-you-throw.
Pay-as-you-throw failed.
Right.
When you talk about plastic serving regulations, you once had the 30 microns and below. Then the manufacturers went to parliament, they put pressure there.
Oh, yeah,
we are going to lose jobs and all that. You know, yet we've seen this work not far from us.
Right.
The Kavera policy. But you see, laws...
Sometimes if the policy makers are benefiting or feeding from
that
the
is
very
what I
policy,
usually
they are
call
against
conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Enchima tesara gwa mu kibira. You and I are from the monkey clan.
Right.
So that reminds me very much of Enchima tesara gwa mu kibira. A monkey cannot be a judge of a case regarding issues of the forest. It will be biased.
Indeed. Brings us to the end of this conversation. Still a dire problem, and still one that we ought to fight. One wonders, where are the solutions if we are trying our best to implement them? But are the laws also implemented? Usually that's where the problem comes. That laws are beautifully written, but implementation becomes another story. We leave it at that. Up next is JMU Tourism Express. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation, when people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790 141 887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The government's core mandate is to maintain law and order, safeguard citizens' rights, and provide essential public services.
Remember, one of the pillars of a roadmap is innovation and entrepreneurship.
There has been this question of how are you protecting our indigenous seed?
It's going to be a tall project. That answers somebody's question.
The Front Bench has brought you insightful discussions on governance, security, healthcare, justice, and commerce.
When you go through this complicated procedure, involve the lawyers, you bring the case against him, the judge will hear you out and pass judgment, and you're out of court in record time.
We remain committed to keeping you informed and engaged on key national matters.
So these are huge, these are powerful organizations which now Uganda chairs. Why don't you come together?
If we haven't migrated to the e-card because of various reasons, including that not all the people of Uganda have smartphones.
You can sit in your house, apply for a passport. If you have a Ugandan who has a successful logistics firm in the US, it means he can come to Uganda and do a lot more.
Every Monday at 8:30 p.m. with me, Jethro Kasaiji, your interface with the government only on your public broadcaster, UBC, inspiring
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Okay, I'm called Godfrey Okwaimungu, a staff from Nal Safari, also a resident of this community. This community is called Mubaku village. The tribe in it are Alur and Bagungu, but majority are Alur. Here, how their lifestyle, what they eat, they feed on local bread and local sauce. As what has been happening right now here, they've made local vegetable. In our language, Alur is called utigo. So that bread, it is not made with cooking oil. Just what they do, they pick the leaves from the bush. Then after picking, they make They make ginat or simsim seed. They grind it. After grinding, it becomes very smooth. So when they're preparing the sauce, they put hot water in the pot. Then with the catalyst which they make, they burn ashes into a pot. Then it drills the water. They put water in it, and then it drills. Then that catalyst is used in the sauce. After the water becomes hot in the pot, they apply the vegetable in it. Then they apply the catalyst. The catalyst make it to become slippery, and also it breaks the hard tissues of the plant. So when it is made, when it's all ready, so they apply the ginat, which they have grinded. It has become fine. They add into the sauce to make the sauce. The whole process takes like 40 to 1 hour. Then after that, the bread, it is the cassava flour. The cassava is grown from the garden, which takes like 9 to 1 year. Then they uproot it, they make it dry under sunshine. Then they pound it with the mortar. After pounding, it becomes soft in form of flour. Then they make hot water in the pot, in the pan. Then that flour they add in the water. Then they mingle the bread. It is the local bread. So after mingling the bread, the process of bread takes like 20 to 30 minutes. So they make the bread. After making the bread, they put in the plate, so they get the sauce. They also serve the food. After serving the food, they bring all the items that are prepared onto the mat. So they call the family members, starting with the kids and the elders. They all come together as one family. So everybody gather at one point on the mat. Then they wash their hands. After washing their hands, they say a prayer. After saying a prayer, then they eat. When people are many in the family, the elders, maybe the father and the mother of the family, for them they squat. The young ones sit in front, so the follows, then the elders sit behind. So they eat as one. That's how the process of food takes place in this community. Thank you. Basically, they are peasant farmers. Everyone keeps in the garden, cultivating for their own consumption. It is not for sale, they just make it for the survival. Yes, the kids, they have their games they play. Actually, in the morning when the elders go to the garden, for them to remain grazing the goats and looking after the chicken in the family and also playing their games. So when the parents come back, they also help the parents in cooking when maybe they're taking long in the garden. So the kids, they have the opportunity, they fetch firewood, they fetch water for the family. Then in the evening, after they're done with all their work, they play before they sleep. The family gathered, different families, they all come together as kids, then they play as one. Yeah. Okay, yeah, sure. Nal Safari, I take it as one of the best lodge in Uganda because I take it myself. I have worked so far in this lodge for 4 years. So this lodge, they help their staff so well in every social life, in every what you need. When you communicate with them, they are very responsible, they respond so quickly. And not only the staff, the lodges in the community, this very community, so they also help community. Like of recent, they have been picking litters in the community, the trading centers around the community, whereby they donated metallic litter bins, 4 of them in the community. And again, we have boreholes in the community whereby when they get spoiled, they have like 4 or 5 of them. When they get spoiled, the company always come in when the local council one communicate to them. They have been responding whereby they repair those boreholes. Yeah, and also we normally associate with the community boys, whereby we normally organize football matches with them to make that friendly mood with them. That's what the company always does for us, the staffs and the community, which has made the community to love the company so much.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Welcome to our business segment, where we let you know of what is transpiring in the business world. And of course, these include the stories and knowing how the money markets are starting. Let's begin with Ugandans, along with communities across the region who have commended NORAD for its 7 years of excellency. That is citing its significant impact on the country's growth and empowerment and development. These remarks were made during the celebrations marking NORAD's 7 years of operation in Uganda. The event was held at Uma Multi-Purpose Hall in Lugogo. Also featured the launch of VMAX tea and coffee products. Let's take a look at the story.
What began as a health-focused initiative aimed at helping Ugandans improve their well-being and live healthier lives is now expanding its efforts towards empowerment and job creation to enhance living standards. During the 7th anniversary celebrations, Ugandans and partners from across the region applauded the company for its contribution to improving health and restoring hope among communities.
It was the pancreas that had already collapsed, but it was able to restore and I was able to heal.
The company president highlighted the achievements and impact registered over the 7 years of operation in Uganda. He acknowledged the support from the government of Uganda and various partners, while also outlining some of the challenges the company has faced over the years.
Every business, to start, it always comes with some challenges. We too the same. We also encountered challenges at the beginning. For example, the stock availability and the product registration and the product distribution. Because, you know, this is far from China. A lot of the goods come from China. So when the sales double and triple, once in a while, we may run out of stock.
The founder also shared the company's journey, emphasizing its growth and expanding impact beyond Uganda's borders.
It started from my humble home in Muyenga, and 7 years down the line, we are now launching franchise tea and coffee shops. If you enter inside the hall, you will realize there is a small corner that has a brand called VMAX 365. That is tea and coffee, and the model we are using for that is franchisees.
Meanwhile, beneficiaries at the event shared their experiences and how NORAD has positively influenced their lives.
I'm a mother who is taking care of my children, courtesy of NORAD. I've been here for the last 3 years, I'm an empowered woman who was a housewife, and now I'm all over the world, courtesy of Noland. God touched my life through Noland, regenerative medicine. I was disturbed by the problem of hormone imbalance, ovarian cyst, and I prayed to God that God give me a solution, and God placed in my hands, and He healed me through Noland regenerative medicine.
Well, 7 years of Noland. Now, moving on, DFCU Bank and Meta launched an asset financing partnership to enhance access to tractors by meeting only 10% of the initial deposit. This was at Kakira Sugar Factory in Jinja.
10%. And equipment. With us, we have come with Field King implements and New Holland tractors. We have two models here, the 95 HP and the 75 HP. The beauty about this thing now, we have come with a bank which is going to help our farmers be able to purchase our equipment. We have the FCU Bank. They are giving this equipment at 10%. The initial deposit is 10%, then the farmer will pay every after 6 months. We have various equipment. The smallest we have right now is a 75 HP. A farmer can get 12 acres per day. What I mean by 12 acres a day, from 7 to 6. Those are 12 hours. So 12 hours, 12 acres.
It commands 13,000 farmers, those that supply Kakira Sugar Limited with sugarcane. We come from 7 districts of Busoga, so we are very big. It is a very big number. Today, I really appreciate the partnership journey that we have started today with DFCU Bank and Meta Group for what they have brought to us to see that we give them to our farmers on loan so that they can be of high productivity. We expect these tractors to be used to see that farmers, first of all, they grow cane in time. 2, they get high production. 3, we sustain all the factors that we have in the region. It's the government to ensure that sugar cane we get market. So all the sugar that is being produced by all the factories in the country, the government has to see that the neighboring countries and beyond, they take our sugar.
Well, tractors there on loan at only 10% for the farmers. What a breakthrough then. And Centenary Bank Executive Director Joseph Balikudembe has underscored the critical role of adaptability and creativity in navigating the modern global economic challenges. Speaking as the guest of honor at the Kaboja International School Buziga Annual Awards Day, Balikudembe addressed the diverse assembly of high achievers who have excelled in competitive fields, including finance and athletics, on both local and international stages. His address emphasized that professional resilience is essential for long-term access in an ever-evolving market. State Minister Henry Musasizi and Persis Namuganza were also present. Let's take a look at this.
Embracing lifelong growth. The knowledge you've gained here is invaluable, but your character, your empathy, integrity, adaptability, and hunger to learn will earn you much further. Stay curious, stay humble, and keep growing. The other one is serve while you build. The most meaningful futures are those that include others.
We are proud of 1,150 students in the hostel. Even without a remarkable growth, we give gratitude to God. We've seen exceptional students. In 1,150 students, everybody here is an achiever. From succeed, to work hard, but to remind you that being here, achieving an award, or an accolade or a certificate is not permanent. It is only permanent if you are intentional and you keep working hard and you keep focus. The young lady in the morning said, if you keep discipline, definitely will be back.
That the greatest award is becoming the person worthy of it. Because there's only one Director's Award, there is only one MVP, there is only one best in Cambridge, there's only one best in IB. But all of us here are amazing at something, are talented at something, are gifted at something. And that is the greatest thing you can have within you. It sounds fair to speak. On my first day when I came to pick my admission, Mr. Njogiza sat me in his office and he told me, I think you can do physics, chemistry, biology, and math. I didn't believe him at that time, because man, what's that? But I still came out one of the top performers because someone told me I could. So I'm here telling you, you can, wherever you're going, whatever the journey is, whoever is in your way, the people who are supporting you, and the system that's supporting you is greater than whatever stands against you.
Thank you.
And now let's look at what the Forex has for us as of the 19th of March this year. Now, beginning with the United States dollar, the US dollar opening was at 3,776.36 and selling at 3,776.36. By midday, the US dollar was at 3,773.64 and was selling at 3,783.64. Now, by closing, the US dollar was at 3,775.00 and selling at 3,785.00. Now, moving at the Great Britain pound, as of midday, it was at 5,021.12 and selling at 5,035.94. The euro, as of midday, it was buying at 4,334.45 and selling at 4,346.31. Moving at the Kenya shilling, as of midday, it was at 29.10. Buying and selling was at 29.25. Moving at the Tanzanian shilling, by midday, it was at 1.44 and selling at 1.46. Now, that is the South African rand, which was at 221.60 and it was selling at 222.24. Well, in case you're interested in Forex, you have that money that comes. Well, and you need to do some trading there. Please, that is how it was. The Forex was standing as of the 19th of March, 2026. And with that, we come to the end of our business. Up next will be Julie with the agenda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, you can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice.